videos. Hi guys, it's Giant7 Reviews. I hope you're doing well on this sunny Saturday morning at time of recording. Now, as I probably mentioned in previous videos, alongside movies, video games and comic books, I'm also a big fan of collecting music. I used to collect CDs mainly. I got to the point where there was just way too many of them that I had, because when I used to have my iPod, it would be buy the CD, give it a listen or two, and then burn onto the computer, select the tracks I liked, and then put back on the shelf. It got to the point where I just had way too many of them, and when I made the switch to Spotify, the whole burning the CDs to an iPod didn't really need to happen anymore. So I sold the whole collection, and then a couple years ago I got a record player and decided to focus solely on collecting my essential records on vinyl, my favorites that I would happily listen to over and over, or can sit and listen to properly without any sort of other distraction. So I've managed to, well, I say just essentials, it has grown to me picking up quite a few bits that aren't albums that I've listened to over and over, but ones I thought, oh, I should give that a listen again, or if I need to give that a listen, maybe it'll sound better on vinyl. But over the past week, I was off on annual leave, so I took a trip to London, had a few record store trip around there, and Birmingham, and it was also my birthday as well. So over the past week, I've picked up a decent chunk of vinyl that I'm going to show you guys today. Now, before I carry on with the video, if you enjoy this kind of video, please hit the like button, and if you're feeling extra generous, hit the subscribe button. So without further ado, let's see what I picked up over the past week. So as you've probably noticed if you've watched my videos before, I'm normally wearing a band shirt of some sort, which is most of my wardrobe, to be honest, and they're mainly rock and metal shirts, which really are my two favorite genres, and they're the genres that, you know, I really gravitated to and fell in love with music when I first was getting into listening to stuff. And that's going to be the case here for obviously a lot of these pickups, but you know, I love all sorts of genres of music. I've got pop, hip hop, electronic, dance, cheesy 80s ballads, you know, all sorts of stuff on my giant playlist that I have. I don't split them out into genres because I'm in the mood 1 minute for Cannibal Corpse, then I'm in the mood for Olivia Rodrigo, then I'm in the mood for The Prodigy, and then I'm in the mood for like the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. So, you know, I've got all sorts of songs on the playlist, but these pickups are mainly rock and metal related. And first up is what I believe is the biggest selling rock album of all time, and one that's been on my essentials to pick up since I got the record player, to give it a re-listen, and that is Back in Black. I mean, what can be said about this album that hasn't been said before? It's got arguably some of the handful of the greatest rock songs of all time on it, with the title track, Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, You Shook Me All Night Long. They're just absolute classics. And there's also other underrated songs that don't get as much of a mention, particularly Have a Drink on Me, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise, Giving the Dog a Bone, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. I need to, and well, I will be giving this a re-listen soon. I've got a couple of AC/DC ones on my list still to get. But yeah, first up, Back in Black. Next up, we have a hugely nostalgic EP for me. Ever since I heard Hand of Blood on Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2005 one, and the superior one. And also that game introduced me to Mastodon, Avenged Sevenfold, Static X. Ever since I heard Hand of Blood, I was hooked, and my first Bullet for My Valentine CD was their first EP, which I absolutely love. Look, Four Words to Choke Upon, Hand of Blood, and ended up on the Poison. Can't remember off the top of my head if Cries in Vain and Curses are on there as well, but this EP absolutely rocks. This was from Ignite Records, I believe they're called, in Birmingham, which had a really cool selection of rarer and imported metal and rock records that you don't see very often. This was one of them, also on OX Blood vinyl colour, so I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, Four Words to Choke Upon is obviously, you know, a very popular tune of theirs. Hand of Blood as well. Cries in Vain rocks. Curses, No Control, and Just Another Star on side B. I don't know if these got a full formal release on the Poison or in a deluxe version, but if you haven't listened to them, they're really good. Early Bullet, and yeah, love this era and looking forward to giving this a re-listen. Next up, we have Deftones' Diamond Eyes. This was from another record shop in Birmingham, which I will have a picture of on here and a link and name. I've forgotten it off the top of my head, apologies. This was my first full-length Deftones record that I listened to. Obviously I'd heard My Own Summer and Changing the House of Flies and Back to School, etc. But I'd never listened to a full length of theirs until Diamond Eyes. Looking forward to giving this a re-listen the whole way through, as it's been a while. I love the title track. I love You've Seen the Butcher, Command Control, Rocket Skates, and Sex Tapes, obviously one of their bigger songs now. Yeah, looking forward to give this a full spin through. I do love that album cover still. Next up, we have an album that is hugely popular, and I think one of those albums that every household has in some capacity, and that is Fleetwood Mac Rumours. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I did listen to this fully properly, but maybe it was at work or something. I didn't fully take it in, appreciate it. Obviously, Go Your Own Way, Dreams, and You Make Love and Fun I'd heard before, like the sort of biggest hits from it. And I Don't Want to Know is a great song as well. This is one that my dad, I remember a while ago, said that you'll really grow to love and appreciate that when you're older. Because at that point, when I think I mentioned it or looking at it, I was only listening probably to Slipknot. And he was right, but I'm looking forward to giving this another proper full-length listen again when I get round to opening it up. Like the Bullet for My Valentine EP, we have another hugely nostalgic EP for me here, and that is the iconic mashup of Jay-Z and Linkin Park. Arguably, well, you know, arguably, I'd say it's the greatest mashup record or EP of all time. I mean, there's definite bias there. But, I mean, I know Numb Encore is the big one for a lot of people, but my God, that Points of Authority, 99 Problems, and One Step Closer mashup, whew, it's the GOAT. It's the best one of the whole EP. But this whole EP just rocks in general. Oh man, like to see them play the whole thing live at some point with Jay-Z, and obviously back with Chester was on vocals. That would have been amazing to see if they ever did it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, great EP, very nostalgic. Looking forward to cracking that open for a re-listen. Next up, we have two more hugely nostalgic albums for me. You can see I'm very much a person that listens to the music that got him into music a lot. Alongside Linkin Park, there was one other band that really, you know, I fell in love with instantly after hearing them, and that was Limp Bizkit. Yeah, 15-year-old Jack jumped out, well, 15-year-old, probably 11 or 12-year-old Jack, like, jumped out of his skin when he saw these on vinyl in the store. Because they, again, this store, Ignite Records, they have a lot of imported and rarer albums that you don't really see a lot in HMB or in the UK. So straight away, seeing Significant Other, I was like, that's an instant grab. Love that artwork so much. And Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. These two albums, alongside Hybrid Theory and Meteora, are probably the albums that I have listened to most in my life. Nu Metal Will Never Die. Next up was an album I got for my birthday earlier this week, and that is the Danger Days Deluxe Edition that came out last month or so ago. I saw My Chemical Romance earlier this year at Wembley. They were fantastic, hugely nostalgic one for me when they played the Black Parade in full, and a big bucket list band. Danger Days, obviously, I was hugely excited for when it came out, and I was a little bit disappointed on the first listen to it because it's such a stylistic switch up from Black Parade and Three Cheers. But it's one that I've really grown to appreciate and love over each consecutive listen. Obviously, Na 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 is a brilliant and an instantly earworm catchy song. But I've really grown to love Bulletproof Heart, and The Only Hope for Me Is You is fantastic. The Kids from Yesterday. I like the different experimentation on the album. You've got really punky hits like Party Poison and Vampire Money, alongside basically full-on pop songs like Sing and I forgot the name of the other one, but I'm going to quickly look on it here. Destroyer and you know, Save Yourself, I Hold Them Back is an absolute banger as well. Planetary Go, full-on pop song. But yeah, this also has a lot of B-sides on it as well, and covers, and live taken from BBC Radio 1 and iTunes Festival. So yeah, that's going to be a good listen to. And also on Lemonade colour vinyl, very nice. Next up, we have Nirvana in Utero. I recently listened to the Unplugged Nirvana vinyl that I have a few days ago now, and it was fantastic. I've got Nevermind already, so I was like, need to get In Utero next. This is, again, like Danger Days, one that really grew on me after I listened to it a few more times. Obviously, it's a bit of a less of a switch up from Nevermind to this than it was to Black Parade to Danger Days. But obviously, Heart Shaped Box, All Apologies, you know, these are iconic Nirvana songs that are up there with some of their most famous. But I absolutely love Scentless Apprentice, and Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle. I find incredibly underrated. I also like Dumb. It's a very small scale, quiet little bop. But yeah, great album. And lastly, we have an album that has one of the album covers that goes the hardest of all time, and that is NWA Straight Outta Compton, one of the most iconic hip-hop rap records of all time. My gateway into hip-hop and rap was probably when I first heard Forgot About Dre with Eminem and Dr. Dre, obviously. And after that, I was pretty much hooked on that particular era of hip-hop. And I went back and listened to this and Eazy-E's solo career, Ice Cube's solo career. Need to give this another full-length listen, as it's been a while, and the second album as well. A little bit annoying that it's got a bit of a dented corner, but it was a bit cheaper. But yeah, it absolutely rules, and I'm looking forward to giving it a re-listen. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, what's your favourite of these picks? What other recommendations would you give me? As always, thanks for watching the video. It means a lot. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. And I will speak again soon on the next one. Cheers.